So it finally happened. I bought a drone. How is it? Let's find out. I have wanted a drone for a while now, and when they launched the Dji Mini 3 Pro, I thought now was the time. And why, you ask? Well, there are a few reasons and I'll elaborate them along the way. But first, I have a few tips for aspiring operators or drone flyers or drone owners or whatever you want to call yourself. First, check your local legislations. Pretty much every country has restricted the use of drones in some way, and you need to be aware of these. When you've got your drone, familiarize yourself with the manual. I know it's tempting to just go out and start flying. Who reads manuals anyway, right? No, seriously, read the manual. You don't need to know everything about the drone right away, but at least memorize basic controls, takeoffs and landings, and what you should do in emergency situations. I also recommend finding an open, isolated place for your first flight. It's pretty embarrassing to crash or do something you're not supposed to do when there's a crowd around you laughing. I also noticed that the propellers seem to be quite close to the ground. So if you're flying somewhere with uneven ground, gravel, grass, something else, then maybe use a platform or something if you have some kind of plywood sheet, something. Otherwise the propellers can easily touch the ground and possibly break. The controls are surprisingly quite easy and simple. Left stick forward, it goes up. Backwards, it goes down. Left turns left. Right turns right. Right stick forward, it moves forward. Backward, it moves backward. Left, it strafes left. Right, it strafes right. And then there are a couple of dials. Left one is for tilting the camera up and down, and the right one is for zoom. To lift off and land, you can use the assist, which pretty much does everything for you. Or then you can just do it manually. All of this is pretty much covered in the introduction video that comes with the manual. You just scan a QR code to access it. There's an automatic return to home function as well, which basically makes the drone fly to the place which has been set when taking off. This can be updated manually as well if you move while flying and do not want to return to where you took off. All the automatic functions works really great, but it's still recommended that you learn to use everything manually, as you never know what would happen in emergency situations or if something fails. After the first couple of flights I started to be more confident and just did it manually, and it's pretty straightforward. And when the flight experience started to be more smooth, I started exploring the camera functions of the drone. One of the reasons I went with the Dji Mini 3 Pro is that it can film in 4K 60 FPS. This means that I can have the option to slow down footage without losing quality. And yes, I know other drones can film in 4K 120 FPS, probably even more frames, but not in this weight and price range as far as I know. The high quality also has its drawback though. It drains battery real quick and the files are massive. After a few flights I almost filled up my 128GB SD card. So I really recommend to buy the Fly More kit for extra batteries and to only record short sequences. This way you can also save some editing time and space on your hard drive. Even though the battery doesn't last long, in my opinion it's still worth it. This drone is practically weightless. It's so light and small that you can take it pretty much everywhere with you. Another drawback of the Dji Mini 3 Pro is the price. However, this depends on what you compare it to. If you don't need focus track or the extra 60 FPS, then maybe Dji Mini 2, which is half price of the Dji Mini 3 Pro, is more suitable for you. As a conclusion, I really enjoy this drone and flying drones in general. I'm sure I will use it constantly. 30 minutes flight time is short though, so the Fly More kit is really advisable as long as you can get it.